Good day. Here are the headlines from the Philippine News Agency. The Commission on Elections is targeting to implement a full-scale online voting for overseas Filipinos in all countries that will allow it for the 2025 midterm elections. Comelec spokesperson Rex Lojanco said the poll body's Special Bids and Awards Committee held a pre-bid conference for the online voting and the counting system project worth 465.8 million pesos. Through online voting, Lojanco hopes to encourage overseas Filipinos to vote using their gadgets while connected to the internet. He added that the seafarers are those who will benefit the most from online voting. In the 2022 elections, about 1.68 million voters registered for overseas voting, but only about 688,000 or 40.59% actually casted their votes. Vice President Sara Duterte in her Basic Education Report 2024 cited the collective efforts of the 900,000-strong DepEd team to bring quality education. In an event held on Thursday, Duterte credited the teachers and personnel of the Department of Education for the agency's latest accomplishments. The Vice President vowed to strengthen professional development programs for educators and school leaders, as well as training for teaching reading skills across grade levels. The DepEd will also release today an order removing administrative tasks from teachers so they can focus on teaching. It will also provide overtime pay, overload pay, and health insurance. She said school-based training packages and session guides will also be developed to train and empower teachers. Meanwhile, Duterte said that DepEd is preparing for the phased implementation of the Matatag K-10 curriculum, the rollout of the National Math Program and the National Science and Technology Program, and the institutionalization of the Comprehensive Peace Education Program. She said the DepEd will integrate entrepreneurship and agribusiness into the basic curriculum. It will also pursue digitalization and interconnectivity with DepEd offices and schools through the DepEd Digital Education 2028 program. Duterte also announced the launch of the Matatag portal this year for teachers, learners, and parents. The Philippine judiciary reaffirms its commitment to protect the universal principles of freedom of speech and expression in the country during the visit of United Nations Special Rapporteur Irene Khan. Supreme Court Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo told Khan that the judiciary maintains a balance between freedom of speech and expression and the protection of the state. Justices present during the meeting also discussed with Khan the Supreme Court's strategic plan for judicial innovations, which serves as its blueprint of action for judicial reforms. Senior Associate Justice Marvic Leonen presented court decisions that tackled freedom of speech, such as ABS-CBN versus Ampatuan, where the SC protected the right of the media to report on cases pending in courts. The Supreme Court justices also discussed other reforms that include strengthening the Sharia justice system, inclusion of female judges, and naturalization of refugees and stateless persons. The SC then gave Khan a copy of its rules on the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020, which aims at protecting the rights of the people alongside prosecution against terrorism. Meanwhile, the Presidential Task Force on Media Security also assured Special Rapporteur Khan of the government's commitment to fostering an environment conducive to free expression. In a welcome dinner, PT Form's Executive Director Undersecretary Paul Gutierrez relayed the Marcos administration's strong resolve to protect and promote these fundamental rights. Government officials also presented to Khan the country's efforts to uphold justice and protect human rights. Khan is visiting the Philippines for 10 days to assess the country's human rights mechanisms. Antipolo Cathedral will be formally recognized as the first international shrine in the Philippines. Over 80 bishops from across the country gathered for an event this morning at the Antipolo Shrine, which started with the procession of the image of Our Lady of Peace and Good Voyage. This was followed by the coronation of the image through a ritual headed by Archbishop Charles Brown and Antipolo Bishop Ruperto Santos. In a statement, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines said that Pope Francis' decree marked the official implementation of the cathedral's new status, which took effect on March 25 last year. According to official Vatican records, Antipolo Cathedral was approved in June 2022 to become the first international shrine in Southeast Asia and the 17th in the world. It is not only the first national shrine in the nation, but is also the first international Marian shrine in Asia. The public has been cautioned not to eat any kind of shellfish or alamang collected from the 8 regions in the country due to paralytic shellfish poison or the red tide. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, in an advisory, said coastal waters in Dawis and Tagbilaran City in Bohol, Damangkilas Bay in Zamboanga del Sur, Lianga Bay in Surigao del Sur, San Benito in Surigao del Norte, Milagros Masbate, San Pedro Bay in Samar, and Matarinao Bay in Eastern Samar tested positive for paralytic shellfish poison over the allowable limit. BFAR said alamang and shellfish collected from these places are unsafe for human consumption. However, BFAR said that fish, squids, shrimps, and crabs from these regions are safe to eat as long as they are clean, fresh, and have had their internal organs like the intestines and gills removed before cooking. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the PNA headlines. For more news updates, please visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The PNA headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the PNA headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account via the News and Information Bureau website nib.gov.ph, under the PNA News, or on the Facebook page of the Presidential Communications Office or PCO. I am Wilnard Basilonia, and this is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.